As a leader, are you walking it like you talking it or not? Yeah? As leaders, we need to walk it like we talk it. So let's talk about the soft skills in leadership. As always, I have the distinct honor and privilege of having the Big Money Movement team on my side. We all walking together and talking together. This is Kelly Wasson, our Director of Operations, and Cheryl Parks, our lead coach and trainer. Cheryl, let's talk about soft skills in leadership and what that means.
I think soft skills are so important, right? They're the things that can't necessarily be taught. I have a little phrase that I always go by, which is you can't teach desire. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things you can't teach. Mm-hmm. So it's really desiring, as a leader, that you have the desire mm-hmm. to be a strong leader, a good leader, to have a vision, to communicate the vision really well. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I think is important is empathy, right? So understanding where people are in their journey mm-hmm. and how you can optimize where they are and work together to get to the next place. So for me, that's what empathy is.
I love it. It makes me think of relationships. Like when we think about communication, when we look at relationships, oftentimes there's friction, tension in relationships when there's misalignment around expectations or communication. And so often we know with people that even if we have different viewpoints, if you will at least take the time to hear me and understand me and put yourself in my shoes, even if you come to the same conclusion, the fact that you've taken the time to understand me will often diffuse me, right, if you will. So I love that empathy is one of the soft skills that you think is critical. Mm-hmm. What about you, Kelly?
I really love in leadership having a position of servant leadership. So with our team, I really love to bring out the leader in the team. So, and I do that by supporting them. So how can I support you? Here are your KPIs, here are your goals that you're trying to accomplish, but what can I do to support you and make that easier? And I feel like as a place of leadership, that really develops trust with the person and camaraderie. Just like any relationship, it's just all about like, what can you do for me? How can this dance work together? And so that's really important to me.
I think it's so interesting because one of my favorite soft skills in leadership, and one that I'm excited that it's becoming more paramount in the marketplace, is self-discovery and self-awareness. So when you talk about servant leadership, what's hilarious to me is your Enneagram, right? Like, so I won't put you on blast if you don't want to put yourself on blast, but your Enneagram, you are the person who loves to serve people and to nurture people. And I'm an Enneagram 8, so don't judge me. But I love that who you are, your makeup lends to your leadership style. And I think that's why self-discovery and self-awareness is so critical. I know for myself, for so long, I felt like as a leader, my job was to emulate how other people led. And it wasn't until I realized that I get to be who I am. That doesn't mean I get to be toxic, right? It means I get to understand my strengths and weaknesses, how I naturally show up, and lean into those strengths and honor my weaknesses as things that I should delegate, right? So for me, it's, okay, well, I'm highly, I'm an empath. So when you talk about empathy, I'm like, I am empath all day. Like someone else's energy can ruin my day because I will feel what you're feeling so deeply. So I'm an emotional leader, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to have rational, logical leaders around me to balance me out. And I think too often as leaders, we villainize who we are naturally, and you can't be a leader because you don't show up X, Y, Z way. It's like, no, lean into your strengths, be okay with that. And then the whole point of diversity of a team is to have other people who make up where you might fall short.
Mm-hmm. Just a quick question for anyone that doesn't know, can you explain Enneagram?
Yes, good question. All right, so there's different personality assessments or tests, and Enneagram is one that looks like it's your personality, how you communicate. So Enneagram is one personality assessment. I love Enneagram. I love DISC assessments, which are really good, that go into your communication style, how you communicate with others, how you prefer to be communicated with. Kelly, you want to talk about Colby? Because we use that for hiring.
Yes, I love the Colby because it really showcases how the person approaches work. Like, what's their working style? What lights them up? What types of things would they shy away from? So we have a plethora of different Colby styles on our team, which I love. And then it really helps to understand how to motivate the rest of the team. So if you are high in quick start, but low in follow through, then I know that I need to give you tons of projects or the space to have so many ideas going. But if I know that you're great with follow through, what's the other one?
Fact finder.
Then I'm going to give you a research project and just let you veg out and nerd out in that way. Yes. And so I really, really love the Colby. Yeah.
Which, without us saying, when I think about a leader and who I want to be led by, I want someone who makes me feel celebrated for who I am, and who takes the time, empathy, to understand my map of the world and sets me up for success. I think that's an amazing soft skill of leadership. I just recently this morning had an interview with one of our clients, Dr. Tonya, and so she was talking about this journey of she's hiring her first hires, operations, and I was asking her what she was excited about most in her business, and she was saying that as an entrepreneur, having someone on her team who's bought into the vision, who's invested, doing the work as if it was their own business. She was just explaining she can't even wrap the words around the magnitude of what that feels like. And I think about that as well, when you talked about servant leadership, when you have someone who buys into your vision, they see the vision, they're willing to dedicate their lives, literally, because when we work, we're working, most of our time is dedicated to that. And when you have a team of employees or contractors or whatever it is, and they're dedicating their time, resources, and effort to be aligned to your vision, I feel like that is the greatest honor, right? And I feel like with that honor comes responsibility, the responsibility to develop these skill sets. Yeah. On the flip side of that, it's funny, I'm inspired, and I feel like it's an honor to be a leader today, but I think that comes from the trauma and toxicity I've experienced through bad leadership. And you want to talk about the impact of poor leadership? The real, put the mask down. Let's for real talk about bad leadership.
I've been a part of an organization that literally circled the drain for years.
What does that mean?
It means that there were bad decisions and good money thrown after, good money thrown after bad. And it was lack of decision making and lack of understanding where profitability was, right? Yeah. So you're making grocery store profit margins at 3%, and you should be at 30%, and there's still no decision making going on. Yeah. So you're just circling the drain.
A slow down.
Until and it's painful for employees, it's painful for partners, it's painful for clients, I'm sure, and all of the things. So really important, that decision making process, and sometimes making hard decisions. It's hard.
Always.
But to be a good leader, you have to step up and make the hard decisions. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a bad leader, making no decision will get you there.
Oh, that's a word. Yes. That's a word. I think that the lack of decision making is the call of leadership. Yes. Yeah, for sure. What about you, Kelly? Any horrible leadership experiences? Clearly they were before. That was before she met me. These are all predating me.
Yes, I've been in toxic work cultures where diversity isn't celebrated, and so it's one mind, one voice, and that's all they wanted to hear. And so they would look down on you if you had a difference of opinion, or if you showed up differently, or if you were an introvert and they're just an extroverted team, or vice versa. And so it's really hard. It's just about leaning into your team. These are human beings. They all have ideas. From the top all the way to the bottom, and just giving them the space to share their ideas and to talk and give feedback about the direction of the company or ask questions when they need to. So I definitely think toxic work environments are the number one way to run off. Run off a capable team.
So speaking of running off teams, there's a saying right now in the Great Resignation or Great Reshuffle that basically is people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad leaders, bad management. So that's exactly what you're referring to.
It has. I think a lot of the women that we work with in the program, we talk about corporate trauma. And really, it's not an umbrella. It's not insert this company name that traumatized you. It's a person or a group of people whose actions, behaviors, words left damage on you, right? And so I think we're like, oh, change the company culture. No, improve the leadership of these people who are doing the damage, the soft skills. And I know for me, I've had serious trauma from poor leadership, from questioning the way I talk, from questioning how I showed up. And then those questions become worthiness, right? Like, because I talk a certain way, does that mean I am not valued, right? If I'm not worthy, or because, there was a time I was a single mother and I was in sales, and the choices and the way that I was talked to. And, when we talk about just mental health and wellness of people, there's so much data that supports the fact that your well-being, your experience at work has a direct correlation on your quality of life. And so, I just can't underscore enough that if you're going to choose leadership, because it is a choice, that there's a responsibility there, and get out of the seat if you're not going to do right by people, and if you're not willing to be aware and grow, because otherwise you're doing significant damage on a population of people. It's interesting because whenever we talk about improvement, I think there's trends here. And I think this conversation also correlates to how do you improve sales skill sets, right? Like anytime you look at a skill set, there's some trends here. If you want to know what those commonalities are or what those trends are, you're going to have to click the next video where we're going to talk about how to improve your sales skill sets. I'll see you there. Bye. Click it, click it, click it.